The air is heavy with dust. A group of researchers move cautiously through the ruins of an abandoned monastery in the hills of Tuscany. The walls crumble, but the silence is unbroken. And then a sound, a hollow echo like wood against stone. They dig, they brush away the earth, and there it is, a chest, old, rotting, locked with iron clamps. The archaeologists' hands tremble as they force it open. Inside, not coins, not jewels, not relics, but paper, hundreds of pages, bound in leather, ink faded but alive. Sketches, diagrams, numbers, an entire world waiting. They realize, almost instantly, what they have found. The missing works, the lost inventions of Leonardo da Vinci. For centuries, Leonardo has been remembered for his art. The soft smile of the Mona Lisa, the divine light of the Last Supper, the beauty of anatomy sketched with reverence and care. But Leonardo was more than a painter. He was a restless dreamer, a scientist before science, an engineer before engineering, a man who saw the 21st century from the 15th. He lived in a world of swords, horses, and candlelight, and yet he envisioned helicopters, tanks, and robots. He imagined bridges, canals, and flying machines that defied gravity. His mind was not bound by his age, it reached into futures he would never see. And now, suddenly, we hold in our hands the pieces of that future. Imagine with me. The first pages are spread across a modern laboratory table. Historians, scientists, engineers lean forward, their eyes wide. They see it, a perfect set of notes for the aerial screw Leonardo's vision of vertical flight. But this time, not the rough sketches we've known, not the incomplete fragments. This is the full design. Precise calculations, measurements, materials, a clear path to construction. Engineers whisper, "This isn't a dream. It's a blueprint." Imagine if this aerial screw is built today not as a curiosity, but as a functioning aircraft. What if it revealed aerodynamic principles we had overlooked? What if Da Vinci had already solved problems we still struggle with: efficiency, balance, thrust? Could his design change how we build helicopters, drones, even spacecraft? Could it lead us to lighter, cleaner, more sustainable ways of flying? The room is silent as the implications unfold. The next page. A diving suit. Leather tubes stitched with care. Glass visors shaped like eyes. An air supply system powered by hand pumps and valves. At first glance, a toy. But the diagrams are far too detailed, too precise. And the scientists ask themselves, what if Leonardo had created the foundation of modern scuba technology 5 centuries ago? Imagine unlocking forgotten principles of underwater exploration. New materials, new systems, safer, deeper, longer dives, not just for military use, but for unlocking the mysteries of the deep sea. The lost cities beneath the waves. The wrecks that tell stories history has forgotten. Even the study of marine life in ways we have yet to achieve. And then, the darker pages. Weapons. A tank, shaped like a turtle. Wheels hidden beneath. Cannons bristling at the edges. Not just the half-finished drawings we've seen in textbooks, but a complete guide. Mechanics, materials, battle strategy. If this had been built in Leonardo's time, the Renaissance would have looked very different. Italy, fractured into city-states, could have been united by fire and steel. Empires might have risen or fallen in months. Europe could have plunged into centuries of war. And now in our modern age, the thought is chilling. Because in the wrong hands, these designs could inspire weapons unlike anything we've built. Machines efficient, not because they are new, but because they were timeless. But there's more. Hidden among the mechanical sketches are notes on medicine. Anatomical drawings. Yes, but also surgical tools, procedures, even strange machines that look like precursors to dialysis and artificial lungs. Was Leonardo already imagining ways to sustain the human body? To prolong life? To fight disease centuries before modern medicine? Imagine if, in these lost manuscripts, lay the seeds of cures we are still searching for. Not fully formed, not miracles on their own, but clues. Clues that could accelerate discoveries in biology, robotics, prosthetics. What if the next breakthrough in cancer treatment or organ replacement began with the pen strokes of a man born in 1452? Now step back. Consider the timeline. If Leonardo's inventions had not been lost, but built in his lifetime, how different would history be? Would mankind have flown centuries before the Wright brothers? Would submarines have charted the oceans before Columbus crossed the Atlantic? Would computers, robots, even space travel have come to us hundreds of years earlier? Perhaps the Renaissance would not have been just an age of art. It might have been the first age of science fiction made real. But then again, would we have been ready? Because progress without wisdom can be destruction. A world with flying machines in the 1500s might have meant empires dropping fire upon cities centuries before Hiroshima. Submarines might have turned exploration into conquest. Da Vinci's robots might have become soldiers of iron, not helpers of humanity. The thought is haunting. And yet, as we look at these pages in the modern day, we see something else. Not just blueprints, not just sketches, but a philosophy. Leonardo's inventions were not meant to separate art from science or beauty from function. They were meant to unite them. Every machine was drawn with elegance. Every weapon tempered with imagination. Every dream tethered by mathematics. This was Leonardo's true genius. Not that he could see the future, but that he could blend it. Art became science. Science became art. And in between, he found wonder. Now, imagine Leonardo alive today, standing in a laboratory, watching scientists splice DNA, standing at Cape Canaveral as rockets thunder into space, standing in a hospital as machines repair hearts with lasers and computers. Would he fall to his knees in awe? Or would he smile faintly and say, "I knew you would get here"? And then, perhaps, he would take out a pen, sit at a desk, and begin sketching something none of us could even imagine. Because that is the essence of genius. It is never satisfied. It always asks, what if? But here lies the greatest question of all. What would we do with his lost inventions if they were given to us today? Would we race to build them, to patent them, to profit from them? Would nations fight to possess them? Would industries bury them, fearing disruption? Or would we use them as Leonardo intended, as tools to explore, to inspire, to remind us that the limits we accept are illusions? Perhaps the true discovery in those lost pages is not a flying machine, or a tank, or a robot. Perhaps the discovery is us. That inside every human being lies a spark of Da Vinci's fire, a dreamer, a questioner, a restless soul who looks at the world and dares to whisper, "It does not have to be this way. It can be more. It can be better." And so, if the lost inventions of Leonardo da Vinci were found today, yes, they would change our machines. Yes, they would alter our future. But more importantly, they would remind us that the greatest invention in human history is not wood, or steel, or even electricity. It is imagination, the courage to dream before the world is ready, the bravery to see beyond the horizon. And in that sense, Leonardo da Vinci has never been lost. He lives in every scientist, every artist, every thinker who dares to believe the impossible.